I suppose we can't ignore the topic of projections. A projection of a map is basically the method by which the map maker translates a sphere or a globe into a two-dimensional representation. Now, we're going to get into map projections a little bit, but because because it is important to the integrity of a map, but because it's not vital to your major, we're not going to delve into this a great deal. To be honest, even professional GIS people have sometimes a hard time grasping this subject. But for now, just know that there are multiple ways to represent a sphere on a two-dimensional surface. Okay, every projection has a strength and a weakness. It is up to the map maker to determine which projection is most favorable for its purpose. Some even come to the conclusion that maps need to lie, and we'll get into more of that later. In this slide, starting at the top, we have the Mercator projection. Distortions are so prominent in this projection that it is no longer used in atlases, but it is still common enough that it looks fine to us. But let's take a closer look. Greenland is presented as having roughly as much land area as Africa, when the fact is that Africa's surface area is approximately 14 times greater than Greenland. Greenland, if you don't know, is that big chunk of land north and slightly to the east of North America. Alaska is presented as having similar or even slightly more land area than Brazil, but Brazil's area is actually 5 times larger than that of Alaska. Of course, maps were vital in the exploration of the world. Despite the obvious flaws, the Mercator projection did serve a tremendous purpose by making ocean navigation and accurate map creation possible. The strength of this projection is that the angles of straight lines remain constant. So, along with a compass, explorers could easily and accurately map their travel path and the location of anything they discovered during their voyage. Going clockwise, we have the Peters equal area projection, which was made in the 1970s and 80s. This projection, believe it or not, was motivated by Peters' political agenda, as best as I could tell. Taking a look at it, it seems distorted to us, which it is as far as the shapes are concerned. However, his goal was to show the relative size of the land masses. His political statement was to demonstrate how small Europe really was, compared to its African neighbor to the south. Most maps, he felt, made it seem as though Europe was the dominating and central feature of the globe. Consider other means that a map might be used to push an agenda. How about how a map is symbolized or colored? Done right, you can customize your map like a graphic designer creates a compelling advertisement. Let's take a look at the next example. Now, this is taking what I just said to an extreme, but you get the idea. I should have this map out there for you to look at on its own. I'm going to make sure I get that file on there for you guys. If I don't, somebody email me and remind me and I'll get it out there. But I got it from ESRI. You can look it up on their website, and you can find it too by searching for its very fitting title, Heart Attack of a City. The agenda of this map is showing how restaurants that are dumping grease down the drains and sewers when they're cleaning up their floors or just being careless, the grease is literally clogging up the sewer lines, just like that same grease clogs your arteries. This, I think, is probably the most compelling map I have seen in years. Anyway, getting back to projections. The good projection is pretty popular these days. It's good, G-O-O-D-E. It does take better into account for shape and size of landmasses. But take a look at it. Can you think of at least one weakness this map has? Anyone want to trek across the ocean with this map? Not me, but again, the intentions of a map need to be considered.